Alright guys, what is going on? Back with another video. It is Wednesday. It's a little gloomy out here, but it's not too bad. It could be worse. And the week is going by a little bit faster because, Memorial Day was Monday, so it seems like it's moving a little bit. But other than that, I can't complain. It could be worse. Let's get a few things out of the way before I get into Star Wars Battlefront 2, which is making a comeback. And I want to talk about that because it's a pretty cool case study if you think about it. First and foremost, I am trying to go live on Facebook. I need 100 followers. I am at 99 right now. So the link is down in the description. So if you want to follow me over there, I'll start going live on Facebook, as well as all the other places I go live on. I go live here on YouTube, I go live on X, and I go live on Twitch. And I'll try to go live at least twice a week. I will be going live Friday and Saturday. Hey, I may even go live earlier, depends on the situation. But it's all thanks to you guys, everybody who come through. I can't thank you guys enough. If this is your first time, welcome. We talk about gaming and everything under that umbrella. So that was a pretty long intro, but let's get into the case study of Star Wars Battlefront 2. This game has made a resurgence on PC. I don't think it has on consoles too much. But right now, that game was at what? The top 15 as far as games sold on Steam, which is a phenomenal feat because you got to understand this game was dead in the water, like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago with the loot box fiasco. It was so bad that Congress and the government stepped in on how bad the loot box was in a Star Wars game. Now you got to understand the whole thing behind this is it is the loot boxes, but it's also because it's Star Wars. And Star Wars is a big name when it comes to, pop culture and just culture in general. Everybody knows Star Wars. And then when they realized that EA was being greedy and they decided to put all these loot boxes in it, it basically killed the game. And for all intents and purposes, it was actually a really good game, but it killed the game because the monetization was so bad. Like I said, even Congress got involved, and it got all over the internet. It got all into TV and television, and it basically tanked the game. Now, well, before then, EA realized how bad they messed up. So when they started doing Star Wars Jedi, Fallen Soldier, and Survivor, that was one of the first things they talked about, is not putting loot box in stuff in the game. It's a single player experience. Please don't kill us. We're trying to make a good game. And those games did fairly well. Now, unbeknownst to us, that Star Wars Battlefront 2 was actually a really good game. It has a really good following because of the one that came out back on the PS2 and Xbox, but this game was actually pretty solid, and a lot of people like to play it, but the mechanics were so bad as far as monetization, it went by the wayside. Now, EA realized they messed up, and they took all that stuff out of the game for the most part, I think. I haven't played it in a while, so I don't know. But they took out a good bit of that stuff out to the point where people are going back to play the game. And the case study is, look, this is the thing about these type of games that you're trying to monetize. You can monetize a game, and people may not want to hear this, but you can monetize a game, but two things has to happen. The game has to be good, it has to be really good, and two, it can't be intrusive. And the monetization was so intrusive to the point where it was a turnoff to people. People will gladly spend money to buy your game if your game is good and if the game is worth the price. This is what we're talking about when it comes to the $80 game fiasco. Like right now, people are struggling to buy Doom the Dark Ages, even though that's a $70 game, but they don't feel like the value's there. And then, they have Game Pass on top of that too, but that's another story. But when you have a game like Battlefront 2, which is a really good game, like people are like saying that it's a good game, but it's marred and it's held down and it is blanketed by the monetization of the game. And this, like I said, this is a case study where you don't have to do this stuff to your customers. People think that you can just nickel and dime, or you can change behavior when it comes to putting games out there, putting content out, and people will just blindly buy stuff because you're training them psychologically to do this. Now, there are studies all over this type of stuff where it's psychologically valuable for companies to manipulate. Well, it's valuable for companies to psychologically manipulate gamers to put money into stuff that's not worth it. This is where the loot box stuff comes in. They make you feel like you're missing out. They feel like you need this stuff. They make you feel like you need all of this stuff, and they went way too far with it with Battlefront. Now EA is somewhat being rewarded because that stuff is out of the game and people are starting to go back to the game and play the game for what it should have been in the beginning. And this is this is another thing that I'll be talking about when it comes to these games. You just make a good game, man. If you make a good game, it's going to sell. A lot of these CEOs aren't gamers. A lot of these executives that aren't CEOs are like around the CEO or in that board meetings. They're not gamers. They don't understand what we like and what we want. They just think like, hey, what's the quickest way to get their money out of their pockets and into our company? That's all that they know. All they want to know is like how they can get the money separated from us and into their pockets. That's all they want to know. They don't care about if a game is great. They don't care about if a game has a great story. They don't care if a game can stand the test of time. They just want your money in their pockets ASAP. And it didn't work out for them. And the truth be told, it's not working out for a lot of companies right now. A lot of companies are struggling when it comes to not only these microtransactions, not with these loot boxes, which that's kind of going by the wayside now. Not many games are trying to do that, unless if you're 2K and and Madden and FIFA. But yeah, but not too many games are just trying to put that in their games nowadays. A lot of these companies now realize like, hey, look, why don't we just jack the price up on the game in general and don't really worry about the loot boxes, microtransactions. And now they're starting to realize that that's not working either. So kudos to the gamer. You guys are really winning, to believe it or not. You guys are actually putting it out there like, hey, look, these $70 games aren't flying. Hey, these $80 games aren't flying. Something's going to have to give because we got other stuff to deal with. Gaming is a luxury. And this is something I'm definitely going to talk about on a live later on this week, that gaming is definitely a luxury and you should treat it as such. Because as much as we love playing games, as much as we enjoy talking about this stuff and playing them and watching them on YouTubes and all the other platforms, the thing about it is at the end of the day, this is a luxury that we are blessed to have. Now, I don't care if you're gaming on old hardware or new, we're blessed to have it. And I think people are starting to realize that. And I think these companies are too, because they take us for granted and they saw what happened to a game that could have been huge in Battlefront 2, and they squandered it because they got greedy. That's basically what happened. You're going to see, we've been seeing this, pretty much game in and game out, that a lot of these companies are putting these games out there and they're not selling at the price that they want to put them at. Well, the price that they were. Now, I don't think they're going to sell at the price where they wanted to put them. Watch watch Borderlands 4. Watch what that does. You saw what Doom did. Watch Borderlands 4 and watch these other games. There's only like 4 or 5 games that can live like that. Madden, FIFA, 2K. Well, FIFA having trouble. 2K basketball, maybe college football, Call of Duty, and Grand Theft Auto. Those are the only games that can live under that premise. All these other ones, you're going to have to get right. You better do it. Goodness. You're going to better have to do what Clay Obscure Expedition is doing. Or you better do what Oblivion is doing and put your game at $50. Because these games that are selling at a certain price of having all these microtransactions is not working. And EA is starting to see, with the resurgence of Battlefront 2, that this is the way to go. And hopefully they listen. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm going to get up out of here. Like I said, the link is down in the description. Hit me up on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitch. You can follow me on Rumble. I'll have all the links to all that down in the description. But I'm one follower away to get on Facebook Live, so I can start going live on Facebook, and I'll have my live streams in that avenue as well. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. Y'all take it easy. Y'all be blessed. I'm out. Peace.